how do you stay optimistic over 19 years in prison, especially when it was supposed to be 32 years? And the easy answer is that you don't. When I walked into court that day and the guidelines were 8 to 13 years, I was like, I can do this. Like, I've created this harm, like I've done, but okay, I can get through this. When they modified the guidelines and they became 10 to 16, I was like, okay, well, I mean, that's a lot. Like, that's almost my whole life. And then when the judge read out 32 years, it was like a slap in the face. And it was that dual experience of, okay, I really am worthless. Like, I really am irredeemable. Like, all of my worst fears are true, and this judge has proved it. On the other hand, there was this anger. It was like, I know I'm a stupid kid, and I know I've done a lot of harm, but like, what am I supposed to do spending more time in prison than I ever lived in the world? Like, I just became an adult. I had just turned 18. And so there was a sense of self-pity and worrying and not thinking about or taking responsibility. And over the years, I struggled with all of those things. There were times where I had no idea how I was going to get through the day, no less get through a decade or, more. And it was really an experience of finding a way to start small. One of the biggest things that someone taught me was to be mindful where I'm at. Whatever I'm doing, if I'm folding clothes, if I'm working in maintenance, whatever I'm doing, just be present with where I'm at. Because so much of that agitation and dissatisfaction is about not wanting to be where I am and wanting to be somewhere else and thinking things will be better somewhere else. So oftentimes it was just a matter of getting through the day and just taking time and making a meal with ramen and mackerel or whatever I'm doing, but really paying attention to what I'm doing, walking mindfully, meditating, exercising. And in the big scheme, it was, the fact that I had family and I had support, and a lot of people didn't. And I was able to make some really amazing relationships on the inside. I have people that I care about, that I talk to almost every day, that I'm still in contact with. And those relationships really sustain me. And one of the biggest things was somebody said, you ought to do a gratitude list. And when he first told me this, I was like, yeah, go F yourself. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm in prison. I've got all this time. Like, what am I grateful for? And so there were days that I could only find like one thing. Like, well, I'm grateful that, I'm not as bad off as this, or I'm grateful that whatever. But what I noticed is over time, as I continued to do a list, the things on it grew and grew and grew. And as I started to focus my attention on things I was grateful for rather than things that I was complaining about, well, that's what I started to live and experience. So if I was living and experiencing the things that I'm complaining about, well, I was unhappy and I was discontent and I was steered in that direction. And when I was actually focusing on, I have enough to eat tonight. And I know there's a guy a couple cells over who doesn't. And I have family contact, and I have people that want to talk to me, and I have these amazing relationships, and I've been able to meet people. And I have the ability to write and communicate and write essays and submit them. Remember the first time I had an essay published, it was amazing because, I came into prison not thinking I could go to college, not thinking I could write, not thinking anybody would ever want to hear from me. And I was continually validated over these years. And that's one of the things that I think we really need is to show people that they can be more. And that's what I had. I had people who encouraged me and pushed me and believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and allowed me to become the person that I am. So hope was, often changing. I think in the beginning, the hope was, can I just make it through and get out and get some construction job and be able to work the rest of my life in freedom? And then all of a sudden hope became, well, maybe I can make something of this time. And then hope became, hey, while I'm in here, I can do this and this and this. I can accomplish these things and I can be better prepared for getting out, but also never forgetting that it's important to make the best of while I'm in. Because like I was saying about the mindful thing, it's really easy to get stuck in this mindset that, okay, once this is over, the good's going to begin. Like, once this is over, I'll be able to retire and things will be great. Or once this is over, I'll get to go do the thing that I want to do. What I found is that leads to that kind of lie of more. We're constantly chasing something and it doesn't ever make us happy. Like if we make more money or if we finally get to the beach, we have that sigh of relief. We're like, oh, I made it to the beach. And then we're like, well, I wonder if there's a better spot on the beach, or I wonder if we could go to the beach more often, or I wonder if, and there's this complete lack of connection to gratitude and connection to presence. So really it's come down to being present where I am, being grateful, and then surrounding myself with good people and meaningful relationships and meaningful activities. Because the times that I struggle most, and especially since getting out, is the times that I'm just going through the motions and I'm not really present with what I'm doing and I'm not accomplishing anything. I want to make changes. One of the most meaningful things I did inside was when I realized it wasn't about me, but it could be about other people. Like when I became a mentor and I'm working with guys and I'm doing journals with them, I'm teaching classes and I'm running programs and I'm having these amazing conversations and I'm watching change happen. That was meaningful. That is what made a difference, and that's what gave me hope, because it's it doesn't have to be about me and my goals and where I'm going and what I'm doing. It's hey, I can try to give this person a hand up the same way I was given a hand up. I can try to be here and listen to this person and validate this person's experience the same way that happened for me. And really that's the hope, right? How do we continue to spread the good that's been given to us? And And it was just an amazing experience when I realized that. And then when I put that into motion, and now being out, I've had a few opportunities, but in some ways I have fewer opportunities to, or it feels like I have fewer opportunities to be of service to other people than I did while I was in. And that's something I need to work on, because I get out and now all of a sudden I'm worried about making sure I make enough money and I pay the bills and I do this and I meet these obligations, and I'm forgetting the joy of being there for other people. I'm forgetting the joy of being present and just doing simple things. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to make sure to take Luke on a walk, because for all those years I wanted to be able to take a dog on a walk. Like, that was an exciting thing to me. Like, I can't wait until I get out. And I didn't want to get stuck in that fantasy, but now that I'm here, I kind of take it for granted. Or I want to be able to get on my motorcycle and ride, because for all those years it was like, one day you'll be able to get on a bike again. Like, one day you'll be able to get on the open road and feel the wind in your face and it'll just be amazing. And now I have that. And again, it's easy to take that for granted. So wherever I was, I realized there was something to be grateful for, and I had the choice to focus on that or to focus on some future thing. And everywhere I was, I realized that there was hope, not only for the future, but also for making the best of the situation that I was in. And it was a struggle, and it was, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and plenty of times of depression and hopelessness and feeling lost. But just keep getting up and just keep doing the right thing, like the next right thing, the small thing, like, hey, I'm going to go to work. Like, literally, that's all I can manage today. And what I found was it came together. Like, it wasn't planned, it wasn't big, it wasn't organized, but life came together, and I was grateful, and I was connected, and I was happy in a way that I never could have imagined I would have been while I was in prison.